everything's falling into place. I'm right where I should be.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the first episode. Well, I guess there's been many episodes, but the first real intentional daily show, your daily uncomplication. So I have had this idea kicking around in my head for a while, and I'm pulling the trigger. And to show you how serious I am about this, I am staying in my double-breasted executive business poncho just to demonstrate that I am not going to take this too seriously. However I show up is how I am. It's not going to be perfect. Some mornings it's going to be rough. I'm going to shoot for 2 days a week, and hopefully we'll scale that up. But here's the idea. Here's the format, is that I want to have an ongoing dialogue where I am able to share all kinds of thoughts. And on a daily basis, I feel like I'm having all kinds of amazing conversation with really interesting people, and that's just something that I cultivate. I really seek out and enjoy those individuals that bring out new information or perspectives or reflections. And so I feel like I'm just swimming in these conversations all the time, and I want to share more of them. So my name is Ryan, and I've been doing Uncomplication since 2014 with my friend Kyle, who founded the name and kind of got the ball rolling. And then over the years, it's changed into a lot of different things. Most notably, in the last year, it took this spin into cryptocurrency because that was something I was ravenously passionate about, as were a lot of others. And this channel now has 160 some thousand subscribers, which is freaking amazing. And I've been watching about 1,000 people a month leave, and I'm okay with that. It was a little hard at first, when all of a sudden it feels like your ship has come in and you have all this opportunity, and people were coming out of the woodwork just wanting to support and lavishing these words of praise. If you go back and watch those earlier videos, those crypto videos, I don't know, I was a normal guy who was really interested in crypto, had gained some level of expertise and was excited about sharing it. But as happens in this world, when something is all of a sudden successful or popular, there's an impulse to keep doing that. And I really fought against it. And you guys who have been around know that it has been a huge struggle. And now that we see crypto kind of in the full grips of a bear market, crypto winter, exchanges collapsing, people's fortunes being lost, I think that was, in a way, foretold in my soul when all of this was going on. So I came on and started talking about Wyckoff. I didn't discover Wyckoff. It was just a revelation in the midst of a lot of hype and craziness. And when I saw what a market was and how it worked, it was obvious to me that this was cyclical, and it was a place where people were going to get hurt. I jumped ship before that happened, and I'm very, very thankful that as I'm following the news and seeing the latest events in crypto, that I've just been steadily selling my crypto over the last several years, I guess you could say. And so I don't have a lot invested, which I definitely feel for those who are invested and getting hurt. Someone in the comments said, can you say a few words about those who have lost money in FTX? And that sucks. That sucks so bad. I can't even imagine. I was thinking how hard it is to trade this space anyway, and the level of effort and mastery that it takes to master your emotions and be a good trader. You could do all of that perfectly, and you could still get wrecked, because the system itself was made out of bubblegum and a prayer. And that just sucks. That sucks so bad. And for those of you that are getting, having your lives materially changed, I think that it shows us a truth about life, is that this day, this existence. Oh shit, here's CenturyLink. I wonder if they're going to fix my internet. Okay, here's where it gets real. Yeah, that all of this is balanced on the head of a pin. And this is not doom and gloom. Oh man, I am going to have to pause this because someone's here to try and fix my internet. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Sorry about that little interruption. All right, where were we? Okay, so yeah, the world is balanced on the head of a pin. And at any moment, you could be doing everything right, thinking you're completely in control, and you can get sideswiped by a speeding, flaming bus out of the blue, and all of your plans go to shit. And on one hand, that can seem depressing or scary or any number of things. On the other hand, I think for me at least, it is a reminder of how this life, this experience that we're having is subject to change without notice. And so where is the focus? Where are the priorities? And I think we've been sold a bad bill of goods in that we are endlessly striving for some idea of ourselves that we haven't reached yet. And that causes a perpetual state of chronic frustration. And we can miss the point. And gosh, I'm just thinking again, okay, FTX collapse. People that invested in Luna, people that were, tied up in Voyager and Celsius, and okay, little microcosm, this crypto verse, but it's true of life as a whole. A lot of you know that I had a friend pass away unexpectedly a little over a year ago. Even the Ukrainian war, like all of those people living in the Ukraine with their interpersonal struggles and conflicts and hopes and dreams and companies and projects and art and life, and some asshat decides to swing his dick around, and now all of your hopes and dreams are out the window. And again, I'm not coming at this from a negative viewpoint. I'm coming at it from an accepting viewpoint, that is the way life is. And it's interesting, I've been talking a lot lately, and you're going to see in some of the episodes that we release, we've recorded a couple other of these daily show with a couple guest hosts, and I'm really excited to share them. But the topic that we've been discussing is this idea, I'm really kind of on this little soapbox about acceptance. And maybe that's because I've had to accept so much lately. I was very much on a timeline, and then when that timeline broke and I didn't know who or what I was anymore, I had to just accept that and start from where I actually was, not where I wished I was, and yada yada yada. So this topic, I think it is at the heart of uncomplication. And I think it is this notion that we are being sold that we're imperfect, or that we're broken, that we're fallen, that we're damaged, that we're not successful, that we're incomplete. And there are a million different people waiting to take our money and our attention and our life force because they are offering release from that, or a shortcut to that. If you scroll through an Instagram feed, you see all of these products and all of these trainings and this and that and everything under the sun. Everyone is feverishly running in circles, myself included, most of the time, with this busyness, this trying to get somewhere. And the hard thing is that it can sound like I'm making an appeal for passivity, or like, oh, let's just roll over, let's all just like turn into blobs and do nothing. Let's not fight the injustice in the world. Let's not strive to learn about ourselves or any of that. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying and it's difficult and it's delicate. But what I feel deeply is that the greatest creativity comes when we are not clinging and not attached to the result. And when we understand that when it's all said and done, there is nothing that is permanent. And again, it sounds dismal, it sounds dreary, but it's just the truth. I mean, we are on, I've heard estimates or theories, whatever you want to call them, that the sun is a third generation star, that there have been 2 or 3 previous suns in this same local area of the galaxy that have done their thing, burned their fuel, and then collapsed and exploded and then recondensed and are doing it all again. And that's the kind of stuff that blows my mind and makes me actually appreciate right now, this moment, is how unfathomably improbable it is, and what a gift it is to be taking every little breath. And so I just want to kind of preface, I think that is a topic of conversation that I really enjoy talking about, because for me it has been truly liberating me from the feeling that, oh, I just need to try harder, I just need to read another book, I just need to find the right guru, I just need to go on the next adventure, I need. And you can chase that rabbit as long as you want, and you'll always be who and what you are, doing what you're doing. The backdrop may change, but there isn't a value judgment other than your own of what's above or what's below. And that, to me, is the greatest creative realization, is whether you're talking about God, you're talking about the universe, you're talking about what is art, you're talking about what is success, what is, insert any definition. You have the power, and I have the power to define what that is. I love that. I love sitting down with someone who is a devout religious practitioner and to ask questions, and to ask things like, where is God? Where isn't God? Is God in the plants? Is God in the animals? Is God here? Is he present? Is God somewhere else? And every individual has the opportunity to answer those questions for themselves. And you go through life and you pick up new pieces of information, and someone says something and now your view has changed. But it's always us as the creator of this view of the universe that has that power. And when I began to understand that, it was also a release from the notion of there being a right or a wrong answer to that. And that's something that can be debated and argued about, because someone over here might, it's the old elephant story, is touching this part of the elephant, and this person over here is touching the trunk, and the one touching the leg is, saying correctly and passionately, like, no, this thing is big and rough and round. And the one touching the tusk is like, okay, it's round, but it's a lot smaller than you think, and it's thin, and they're both right, but they don't get the whole viewpoint. And that, I think, is a call to release ourselves from the notion that we are not complete in and of ourselves as we are right now, because again, it could all change. My friend Adam, who passed away in his sleep, I just listened to a podcast with him that was recorded about a year before he died. And Adam was an amazing human, so full of life, so full of care and attention and creativity. He was a musician. And in this podcast, you can hear him talking about the future. And he was saying things like, when I'm an old man and I'm looking back on this stage of my life, I want to feel this, that, and the other. And these are my hopes and my dreams. And for the band, this is what I want to do. And then in less than a year, he was dead and gone. And Was he incomplete because he didn't live out that dream with the band? Did he, was his value less because his time was shorter? Hell no. Absolutely not. He was exactly who and what he was in the time that he was here. And I'm sure there's so many things that he could have done, wished he would have done, et cetera, et cetera. But when it all gets sorted out, there is no value judgment other than our own of whether a life is exemplary or mediocre or dismal. Think about all of the children that were born into trash heaps across the world. I live in this little bubble, and this is my experience, but there are people every day, right now, living in situations that I couldn't even imagine. Yet they have love, they have happiness, they have adventure, they have sadness, they have all of the same content. So is my life worth more valuable than someone who happened to be born on a trash pile in a country far, far away? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is, in my estimation, there's one energetic thing that there is, the force, the doer of all doers, the being of all beings, and we are each somehow a little reflection of that, but we're not individual in that sense that there is a higher than, lower than. And if that's true individual to individual, then that's also true of each of us every moment of every day. And really, it's that negative self-talk, it's that critical censor that I think came from our culture, came from our global economy of go, 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 get ahead or die, that like a teacher is there holding the punishment stick over our heads all the time. I wake up every day and I'm like, shit, I need to do more. I need to figure this out. I need to make art. I need to make podcasts. I need to go, 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 go. And I'm going to do that stuff, but I'm also going to understand that it is not essential. And that's what I'm talking about. That's the creativity, because when I let go of this, is my quest and my holy grail is to blab into YouTube and be a celebrity, or who the fuck knows? Like, why do people go on YouTube? That self-validation, right? When I can let go of that, and I can show up in my poncho and just talk because it's something that I enjoy doing, now there's real creativity happening. Now there's honesty. Now there is vulnerability, and that's what, for me, is satisfying. So I think this is a topic, it's gonna alienate some. I think for others it will be just an interesting dialogue, and you'll see how this plays out in the conversations that we're gonna post next with my friend Derek and Aaron, where we really talk about this. And after the fact, I feel like, man, people are really gonna hate me for saying these things, for suggesting that it's not as important as or it's only as important as we make it. And I'm not saying like we should all roll over, we should all just go back to bed. Although it's interesting, my partner Kayla she is so good at resting, and it's a superpower. It's something I wish that I had too. And there's this thing on I think it's Facebook or Instagram or something called the Nap Ministry. I think it's actually a black woman who is creating this movement that's like rest as resistance. And that's kind of cool, because I was thinking yesterday about how every day the planet wakes up and just is striving. This human world is striving to like get to the future, to solve the problems, solve the challenges, create the solutions. And we saw this during COVID a little bit, if we all sat still just a little bit more and actually looked at the people around us and took a moment to experience the fullness of whatever it is you're doing, especially when we're not striving. This is me. I'm not prescribing anything. This is sort of the double-edged conundrum. It's a paradox. Here I am saying all of these things, saying that you don't need anything, yet I'm saying it as if you need to know that. And that's the joke. That's the cosmic, hilarious human predicament. And another person who actually was very, very profound in my experience was Alan Watts. And he's become really popular on YouTube. You can find a lot of his recordings and stuff. I've been collecting them since like 2003. But Alan Watts gave these beautiful lectures. And when I go on YouTube, I'm a little disappointed because they're never the full thing. There are these little nuggets of wisdom, which in themselves are good, but it misses the intro that he always gave. Before he gave any talk, Alan Watts would inform the audience clearly that he was there not to try to improve them or try to sell them on anything or to tell them that they were doing anything wrong or that there's another way that they should be living. He would say that he was there as an entertainer. He was a spiritual entertainer. He talked because it was his nature to talk. And he had this line where he said, anyone who comes and says they have something you need is like someone who picks your pocket and tries to sell you your own watch back to you. And so that's kind of the spirit that I'm coming from. It's not the passivity, it's just the recognition. And this is in my own experience, but I have recognized that it's fun and interesting to read new books and to get new ideas from people and to have a new morning routine and to do this for a while until it doesn't work and then to try this over here. But it's a recognition that all of this is somehow extra complexity on top of this very simple thing. And that very simple thing is resilient and ever present, and even in the depths of war or the ecstasy of intimacy or any experience of life, there is that core that is always there, and you have it and I have it every moment of our entire lives. And so everything else on top, that's the fun, that's the music, that's the color and the creativity. And for me, when I can really grasp that idea of letting go, again, always these coincidence of opposites, these paradoxes. But when I'm able to hold on to letting go, then I feel like I can really start playing and I can really start creating and living and loving and sharing things with the world. And yeah, that's my first little daily uncomplication. It just sets the stage. I am going to be trying to do these twice a week. I have a whole other plan that I'm going to tie in here that I'm really excited about. That's going to include auctioning some of the pieces of art that I'm making, because some of these I think are really cool and they all have stories behind them. So I will make that part of future morning shows, but I'll leave it there. These are supposed to be like half an hour, so I'll see how I did. But yeah, let me know in the comments how that made you feel. Feel free to unsubscribe if you don't like the content, and I will catch you all next time. Cheers.
The tides of life won't let me here, and that's why I'm not scared.